Whitney Houston wasn't just a singer, she was a once-in-a-lifetime talent. With a voice that could move mountains and a presence that captivated millions, she became one of the greatest artists of all time. But behind the fame and glamour, her life was filled with both triumphs and struggles. Let's take a deep dive into the legendary lifestyle of Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's early life, the making of a star. Before she became a global superstar, Whitney Houston was just a girl with a dream. Born on August 9, 1963 in Newark, New Jersey, Whitney grew up surrounded by music. Her mother, Cissy Houston, was a renowned gospel singer, and her cousins included music legends like Dionne Warwick. With such a powerful musical lineage, it was no surprise that Whitney had a voice that could move millions. Whitney's mother recognized her talent early and mentored her in gospel music. By the age of 11, she was already performing solos at New Hope Baptist Church. Her voice had a richness beyond her years, and it wasn't long before people started noticing her extraordinary gift. As a teenager, Whitney's talents extended beyond music. She became a sought-after teen model and was one of the first black women to grace the cover of Seventeen magazine. But while modeling brought her fame, her true passion remained music. She started singing backup vocals for legendary artists like Chaka Khan and Lou Rawls, gaining valuable experience that would shape her future career. Whitney was destined for greatness, but no one could have predicted just how massive her career would become. From singing in church to sharing the stage with legends, she was on the brink of something extraordinary. And soon, the world would witness the rise of one of the greatest voices in history. Untold. Whitney Houston's rise to stardom. 1880s, early 1990s. Whitney's powerful voice and natural stage presence caught the attention of legendary music producer Clive Davis in the early 1880s. He was mesmerized by her talent and knew she was destined for greatness. Under his guidance, Whitney signed with Arista Records, marking the beginning of her journey to superstardom. In 1985, Whitney released her debut album, simply titled Whitney Houston. The album featured unforgettable hits like Saving All My Love for You, How Will I Know, and Greatest Love of All. Her angelic voice, combined with her charismatic personality, made her an instant sensation. The album topped the charts and eventually sold over 25 million copies worldwide, setting the stage for an iconic career. After the success of her first album, Whitney didn't just become a star, she became a pop icon. Her second album, Whitney, 1987, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, making her the first female artist to achieve this milestone. Hits like I Wanna Dance with Somebody and Didn't We Almost Have It All solidified her status as one of the greatest voices in music history. By the early 90s, Whitney was already a household name worldwide. Whitney Houston's Hollywood breakthrough and global stardom, 90s. By the early 1990s, Whitney Houston was already a music icon, but she was about to take over Hollywood as well. In 1992, she starred in her first major film, The Bodyguard, alongside Kevin Costner. The movie was a massive box office hit, grossing over $400 million. Worldwide, it wasn't just her acting debut that made history. Her powerful performance and electrifying screen presence turned the film into an unforgettable classic. One song from The Bodyguard would go on to define Whitney's career and become one of the most iconic ballads of all time, I Will Always Love You. Originally written by Dolly Parton, Whitney's soulful rendition turned it into a global phenomenon. The song stayed at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 14 weeks, breaking records. It won multiple Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year, and became the best-selling single by a female artist in history. With her groundbreaking success in both music and film, Whitney Houston became the most awarded female artist of all time. She earned multiple Grammys, Billboard Awards, and American Music Awards, along with a Guinness World Record for her achievements. In 1994, she performed in South Africa, becoming one of the first global stars to visit the country after apartheid ended. Whitney had become more than a singer. She was a symbol of talent, resilience, and inspiration. Whitney Houston's struggles. Whitney Houston was at the peak of her career, but fame often comes with a heavy price. As the 1990s ended, her personal struggles became more public, and the pressure of being a global superstar began to take its toll. Being the most awarded female artist of all time came with immense pressure. The media closely followed Whitney's every move, often twisting stories and sensationalizing her personal life. As tabloids speculated about her relationships, lifestyle, and career choices, Whitney struggled to maintain the image of America's sweetheart. In 1992, Whitney married R&B singer Bobby Brown. While their love was undeniable, the relationship quickly became a subject of controversy. The media portrayed Bobby as a bad influence, and their marriage was filled with ups and downs. Despite public criticism, Whitney stood by his side, showing that love, for her, was unconditional. By the early 2000s, Whitney's once flawless image had started to fade. Reports of substance abuse, erratic behavior, and missed performances worried fans. Her stunning voice, once known for its effortless perfection, began to show signs of strain. Interviews became uncomfortable to watch, as she denied the struggles that were becoming more evident. In 2002, Whitney sat down with journalist Diane Sawyer for what became one of the most talked-about interviews of her career. When asked about drug use, she infamously responded, "Crack is whack." However, the interview revealed her internal battles, and the world realized that Whitney was struggling more than she admitted. Despite her struggles, Whitney never stopped trying to reclaim her throne. In 2009, she released I Look to You, an album that was meant to be her grand comeback. The album performed well, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200, proving that fans still adored her. But behind the scenes, her challenges remained, making it difficult for her to fully return to the stage she once ruled. Whitney Houston's final years and tragic passing. As the 2010s began, Whitney Houston was battling personal struggles, but was still determined to make a comeback. She released a new album, went on tour, and even started filming for the movie Sparkle. However, behind the scenes, her health and personal life were deteriorating. Sadly, on February 11, 2012, the world lost one of the greatest voices in history when Whitney was found unresponsive in her hotel bathtub. Her passing left millions heartbroken, but her legacy continues to inspire generations. Whitney Houston may be gone, but her music, her voice, and her impact will never fade. If you believe in keeping her legacy alive, don't forget to like this video, share your favorite Whitney song in the comments, and subscribe to Celebwood Life for more legendary Hollywood stories. Let's celebrate the icons who shaped the world of music and film.